Ann Coulter coming up next. And is there a good strategy the Democrats can use to win back the House? And we'll talk about her new game that she's using to keep herself busy while she's in China virus quarantine. Welcome back to the Lars Larson Show. It's a pleasure to be with you on a Wednesday night. As I've told you a few times over the last, 10 or 12 weeks, staying at home and working from home has actually done me a lot of good. My shop has never been better arranged and cleaner. My garage has never been cleaner. My tools are all placed in order. And it seems Ann Coulter has done the same thing. You can find her at anncoulter.com. She has arranged her spice rack and all the rest of that. But she's done something far more creative than me. She has created a new game, and it's actually pretty funny, the Kim Jong-jo plan, because she anticipates that the Democrats anticipate a massive loss in November if they run this demented old guy as their candidate after their August virtual convention. That got it about right, Ann?
Yes, I don't think they're at the panic point yet, but I think they may reach that point. I mean, if they, right now, Biden looks great in the polls. Trump doesn't look so good. Who knows? Maybe they're right. But they've got to be worried if they've seen Joe Biden, that they have the opportunity of a lifetime here, and they're running the senile dementia patient. So the quarantine game, for those interested in playing, is you have 12 minutes to come up with solutions to the problem. You're the Democratic Party. You come up with what they should do here with the senile dementia patients, and we'll grade on, style, rationale, advantages. So I gave my two answers. The first one is, it was just occurring to me because this is what I do in my quarantine, think of what I'd do if I were the Democratic Party, that they should run Cory Booker and Kamala Harris. My logic being, Biden was dead in the water. I remember, you can barely remember those crazy early caucuses and polls, and they were counting in Iowa forever. But Biden wasn't even coming in second or third. He was coming in like eighth in all the early contests. But then he gets down to South Carolina, and despite the fact that I've been told approximately 1 million times by hosts and guests on MSNBC, the black vote is not monolithic. Black vote is not monolithic. In this one instance, black people got together and decided, okay, this time we're going to vote monolithically. Jim Clyburn said, we're for Biden. African Americans in South Carolina said, okay, got it, done. We're voting for Biden. So the Democratic Party had best put an African American on the ticket. I mean, there's been a lot of chit chat about that as people are wondering who Biden's going to choose. Well, how about they replace Biden? I mean, they can't disappoint black voters. They chose Biden. So if they're going to take Biden away, how about two black candidates, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, and then they can drop, all these advantages. They can drop all these phony cases of racism. They always do it as an election is approaching. We got Ferguson and Baltimore, and we've got to gin up African Americans to a fever pitch so they'll remember to come out and vote. Well, the first ticket for president for the United States presidency with two African American candidates, I think that would do the trick. So that's my first solution. My second one is just to keep, for the Democrats, if I were the Democrat playing the quarantine game, just to keep Joe Biden in the bunker for the rest of the campaign. Don't let the voters see him, and that's the reference in the title, the Kim Jong-jo solution. They get a body double for Biden, which is so easy now because he's going around in that mask. So they just have to get the hair plugs right, and they can send somebody else out for the TV appearances and public events. No one will know.
You can read her piece at anncoulter.com. Didn't you think Joe looked almost as good in that mask as Mike Dukakis did with the helmet on top and the tank underneath him years ago? I mean, because it's one of those.
It did look silly.
It became a meme very, very quickly.
Yes, I understand Trump's point now. Though, as you know, I'm in favor of mask wearing if you're in a confined space, if you're in a crowd. if you're close talking with someone. But by and large, you don't. People under the age of 65 without the classic comorbidities of hypertension or obesity really don't need to be wearing. I mean, I wouldn't bash somebody for doing it, but I wouldn't run away from someone who isn't wearing a mask. Just going shopping, you definitely don't need a mask if you're out jogging, surfing on a boat. The fish aren't going to give it to you. This virus isn't like Godzilla where it chases you down. So it did seem a little bit silly at Arlington Cemetery. It's outdoors.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, look, I try to live up to what I talk about on the air. So if I'm going to, do things a different way, I say what I'm going to do. I don't want people to say, oh, Lars is saying do this, but he's not doing it himself. When my 2 adult children come over to the house, they don't come inside. They go out and they sit on one side of the fire pit, and they're sitting 10, 15 feet away from us, and we sit on the other side. And so, like you said, if you're outside, if you're a good distance apart, then that should work out well. But this whole thing with Biden, if they go, in all seriousness, Ann, if they sub in, and I put up as a Twitter poll the other night, which female black candidate is Joe Biden going to pick as his running mate? And I gave Kamala Harris, I gave, of course, Stacey Abrams, the governor of Georgia, elected but not ever taking office because she can take time out from her job because she does insist she won the election, or Michelle Obama. Now, for the life of me, I still don't understand why people keep bringing up her name, on both sides of the aisle.
I'm with you.
I mean, look, she graduated from Harvard. Fine, it's an accomplishment to get in. It's going to, Harvard Law. But other than that, what has she ever done? She's worked as an associate at a law firm, and she's been married to a president of the United States. And that's the qualification to be the stand-in for the president if the president is incapacitated, which I hate to say it, but Joe Biden over the next 4 years, if he gets into the office, what's the likelihood he will finish one term in office?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not threatening him. I'm just saying it's, roll the dice on that one.
Look at him. Yeah. No, I agree. I have not understood. Every once in a while, this fever will go through the populace where everyone gets terrified or thrilled with the prospect of this or that presidential candidate. Most people who aren't in politics do not, they like the idea of being president. They do not warm to the idea of campaigning and running for office. To be honest, that's why I was surprised Trump actually followed through. He was threatening to run for president for many years, and I said, yeah, so do a lot of people. And then they see what it involves. Michelle Obama has shown very little interest in politics, and I think Hillary Clinton's run demonstrated that, she was admittedly the wife of a not particularly popular president. Clinton never got half of the country to vote for him. Michelle Obama was at least the wife of a popular president, yet and still, I don't think people want the wife of.
No, and the other thing is...
That isn't what we're looking for.
Do you think she's in... Because I've said to my producers, I said, even from a distance, you can tell being president intrudes on your life to a tremendous degree. And now that she and Barack Obama are worth, I don't know, 100 million, 200 million, whatever they're worth, and they're hanging out on people's yachts and things like that, do you really want to trade that life where you have endless choices for, I'm stuck in this house for the next 4 years as the sub?
Turning gray, Yeah,
turning gray. So it doesn't make any very much sense. But one last thing I want you to comment on. If they replace Joe Biden, and they don't replace him with Bernie, the guy who's got the number 2 number of delegates, do all the Bernie bros then say, we're not showing up in November?
No, I don't think. I noticed that you skipped my my lengthy paragraph on how this has got to be awfully tempting for them. And basically, my argument is that Trump is to the Democratic Party what Hillary was to the Republican Party. We're salivating to run against her. Just this repugnant human being. Half the country already hates her. And I do think there is. Certainly liberals in America are dying to vote against Trump. And the way I see Trump losing is the same way I saw Hillary losing, or perhaps in retrospect. And that is, a lot of people out there just so hated Hillary, they didn't care anything about Trump. They weren't even voting for Trump. They were just saying, don't tell me who's running against her. I'm voting for whomever is running against her. And I think the Democrat kind of has that advantage with Trump.
Ann Coulter has created the Kim Jong-jo plan. It's a game available
The
at your
Lars
local
Larson
store.
Show.